Crussula ovata, the money tree, the money plant. There's other money plants, so don't get confused, or the jade plant. Shaky, can you spin in a little bit on this plant here? Look at them, they're utterly beautiful. They're a succulent that you find in hospital waiting rooms, dentist waiting rooms, and they make the most wonderful houseplants. And they are the easiest thing to propagate on the planet. So, welcome to another edition of The Windowsill Gardener.
Yay!
Hello happy gardeners and agrophobic windowsill gardeners. Welcome to the Stinky Ditch Windowsill. Once again, we've got Shaky on camera. Say hello, Shaky.
Hiya.
And today we are taking cuttings from one of the simplest plants to take cuttings from that you could possibly ever try. It's called Crussula ovata. Was that right, Shaky?
That's correct.
Oh, we had to look that one up and say it so many times. It's also known as the money tree, or the money plant, or the lucky plant, or the jade plant. There's another plant in America, I think, that's called the money plant or the money tree. Please put in the comments and educate me about that. Right then, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking some water cuttings. This plant itself, it grows in Madagascar and it grows in South Africa in the wild. In sort of quite an arid situation. So, Shaky, spin in a minute. It just shows how this plant has this absolute need to survive. Look at those roots. They're growing already out of that node. Remember, the nodes are the place where leaves or something happens on the plant. And they're growing already and it hasn't even fallen off of the plant. In the wild, these break off. They fall onto the ground. They root and the plant carries on. That's like a load of clones. To diversify its gene pool, it also flowers in the winter. These are inflorescence, I think that's what it's called, where you have lots of little flowers coming out of one spike. They're sweet smelling and they're beautiful. They're either white or pink. Now, if you want to get your jade plant, your money tree / your money plant, flowering, it needs to have some sort of seasonal thing happen to it. Now, I understand that this plant was just kept in a warm condition for about 10 years. Is that right, Sean?
That's right, yeah.
And then it moved to this conservatory where we're getting a bit of heat, we're getting a bit of cold in the winter. Now, when the cold hits in the winter, this will tell the plant that something's changing and it will kick it into flowering. And so since this plant has been in a conservatory that gets hot in the summer, cold in the winter, a bit more seasonal, it flowered last year, it was beautiful, but we haven't got any flowers at the moment. We'll show you those. Anyway, we're going to take some cuttings. So what do you need for these cuttings? You will need yourself a sharp knife or a pair of very sharp scissors, a pair of glasses if you're like me. We're taking water cuttings, so you're going to need some sort of thing to put your cutting in. Here's one that I did earlier. Now, if you start doing a lot of water cuttings, I would really suggest getting a little test tube set like this. It's wonderful to watch the plants actually grow. You can see what's going on. It's good to do it in a glass anyway, but if you haven't got your test tubes, just do it in a glass or whatever you have that you can put some water in. Now, here's one that was done a few months ago, a fair few months ago, 3 or 4 months ago, and look at the roots on that. We're going to be planting that up into some soil. I'll do another video about how to plant them up into soil, and that will continue to grow. Here's one that was, I took this cutting about 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, and as you can see, it's growing beautifully. There's such architectural plants. The leaves come out opposite each other. If you're into your plant identification, very important thing. Leaves opposite or leaves alternate. These are opposite each other. It is a succulent. It doesn't have vascular things going through it. I'm not really going to elaborate on that much because I don't know too much about it. But it's a succulent. It's a different type of plant to one that has veins going through it. And Shaky, if you like spinning here, as you can see, the trunks get really quite thick. Look how this grows. Isn't that beautiful? You can see these nodes that are controlled by the line, and it has a sort of bark on it that comes around, comes off sideways like that. They grow, like I said, out in the deserts in South Africa, and they grow big. They grow to about 2 meters tall. They can grow really, really huge. But inside, they keep quite slow. You find them a lot in Chinese takeaways in the UK. I don't know why this is. Again, in the comments, please educate me and tell me why these are used in Chinese takeaways. So, right, we are going to take our cutting. So for this, I'm going to put my glasses on. And I've got my little test tube here ready with some tap water. It's just normal tap water. Tap water is fine. Now, Shaky, if you can spin in, I'm going to take this little cutting here. As you can see, it's already started growing a few roots at the bottom. So I'm going to cut that off there. Can you see that as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got him on there? Right, so I'm going to cut him off there. Whoop, like that. Lovely sharp knife. I'm also going to take off this bottom leaf here. I'll put him down on there just to cut that there. See that? I'm going to take that bottom leaf off there. And we've got a little bit of growth coming out the side there. We're going to take him off. And then all I do is pop it in the water. That's it. Look, you can see the roots in the water. Top it up with water as it evaporates. But that will root, and we will be able to pop that up, and we'll be able to grow our own little houseplants. If you've never propagated anything before, please try this. It's so easy to do. I'm not suggesting going into Chinese takeaways or doctors' waiting rooms or dentist waiting rooms and having a little bit. But I don't know, you could ask if there's a few bits that have fallen off, you know, have a go. Anyway, this has been Robbie Phoenix and Shaky on camera down at the Stinky Ditch windowsill, just showing you how to get your money plant cuttings on the go, and thank you for watching.